All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judge Jackie Powell, and this is First Appearance Court. Today, I am going to let you know if I found probable cause based on the police reports that I've read, and also we will talk about release conditions. Please note that today is not your trial date, and so you may not want to talk about your case on the record because everything in this courtroom is being recorded and can be used against you at a later time. If you are represented by counsel, either from the public defender's office, and I do have one of the public defender's attorney in the courtroom with me, as well as you have an attorney at the main jail. If you are represented by those counsels, you may speak with them before speaking on the record. If you have a private attorney, they normally come to the courtroom and they're able to speak on your behalf. If you're represented by private counsel and they're not here in the courtroom, you can let us know and we will see how we can facilitate you. Please note that unless you or your family have retained them for this arrest, more than likely they're not representing you. So, sometimes we hold up the process saying that we have private counsel, and then when I call, they say they're not representing you. So unless you or your family have retained counsel for this arrest that occurred the last 24 hours, they may not be representing you. I also have the attorney from the state attorney's office in the courtroom with me, as well as pretrial supervision, confinement status, and of course, the clerk of court to maintain records. Is there anyone that the jail needs to be called out of turn? Otherwise, we'll just go.
Not that I've been advised, Judge.
And, all right, so Deshauna Oliphant,
Main jail, Your Honor. Can you put her on a recall? Also, Valerie Silverman.
we're putting both of them on a recall.
Judge,
Yes,
being advised Ms. Oliphant bonded.
All right, Ms. Oliphant bonded.
Miss Silverman, recall, please.
That's correct, right? Confinement. And then you want us to recall Silverman?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Counselor, did you sign in?
No, you are. Good afternoon. My name is H.T. Smith. Solomon Stinson has been my client. He was arrested yesterday, taken to Memorial West.
Right.
I went over to see him. They were not let me see him. So I came back. I spoke to the prosecutor. Was very candid and told me that he told they bring him over here.
Right, he's not in custody. He's not physically at the jail at this time.
And I cannot see him.
I believe you have to speak to the jail in regards to.
Well, he's not at the jail. He's at the jail.
No, I know, but you have to speak to the jail in regards to visitation if he's at a hospital. That's
But he can't make arrangements to obtain you medication to the inmate. He can't come
right.
for over 12 hours. This happened in Peru.
Right. Well, I know from previous personal experience that you have to speak to the jail, and they would have to make arrangements if you want to go to the jail to see him. Okay?
Give you that instruction, prosecutor, thank you so much. Appreciate your help there.
All right. Napoleon Culver.
He's here, present, Judge approaching.
All right, Mr. Culver is before the court this afternoon for one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. It's domestic in nature, and count two is domestic battery by strangulation. And the court does find probable cause.
Your Honor, he's Nancy Hennigan, pretrial services. He's currently out on pretrial for driving while license revoked, case number 19003077 CF10A, and he was placed on March 7th, 2019. We're requesting his pretrial is revoked, Your Honor.
Okay,
And, Your Honor, the state is going to be requesting bond in the following amounts. $15,000 on count one, $25,000 on count two, no victim contact, pretrial release of the GPS monitor. I'm concerned about the victim's safety, considering on multiple occasions in this matter, Mr. Culver threatened to kill the victim. There's also a history, Mr. Culver has a history of violence, including violence against the same victim. In 2018, he was convicted of battery against the same victim. He had an arrest for violation of a domestic violence injunction in 2017. That was dropped. In 2016, he was convicted of felony battery causing great bodily harm, sentenced to 150 days in county jail. In 2015, he was convicted of assault. 2013, he was convicted of violation of a domestic violence injunction. He had an arrest for battery in 2012 that was dropped. An arrest for violation of a domestic violence injunction in 2005 that was dropped. In 2003, he was convicted of domestic violence battery and violating a domestic violence injunction. 1996, he was convicted of robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon and resisting with violence. He was sentenced to 6.5 years in state prison as a habitual offender. Your Honor, Mr. Culver has also had numerous other priors, but those are the most relevant priors considering the allegations he stands before the court on today.
Okay.
Judge, in speaking Mr. Culver, unfortunately, from what he advised me, he's not in a financial position to post his bond. What he's requesting at this time is the court, my understanding, he's out on pretrial release on a driving offense, which he's out on standard pretrial. He wishes to ask the court if the court would consider releasing him on a higher level supervision, a level 2, with the monitor judge. My understanding he's 48, been here his whole entire life. He does realize that the court's going to impose a no contact order. He's going to live separate and apart from the alleged victim. He says he has friends in the community that can take him in. Judge, he is working at this time. He works for a company called PPS, which is a kind of a labor pool company, where he said he's been there for about 5 years and makes about $100 a day when there's work. So, Judge, at this time, from what in speaking Mr. Culver, we're asking for a level 2 pretrial on his behalf.
All right, at this time, the court does find probable cause. I am going to impose $15,000 bond on count one, a $25,000 bond on two, no victim contact. If Mr. Culver posts his bond, he'll be on a level 2 GPS. Okay? And as to the motion to revoke pretrial, I'm going to grant that, and I'll impose a $2,500 bond on that case. Okay, Henry Cavala. Oh, good afternoon. You're right on time. All right, sir, you're before the court this afternoon.
Señor, usted está acá en la corte hoy en la tarde,
One count of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon
un cargo de agresión física con agravantes con arma mortal
and count two, tampering in a second-degree felony proceeding.
y intervenir, el segundo cargo es interferir con un proceso de felonía o delito mayor.
The court does find probable cause,
La corte encuentra causa probable para el delito.
and I'll hear from the parties as to bond.
Van a escucharlo de la fianza.
Your Honor, the state would request a $10,000 bond on one,
La fiscalía está solicitando que le den una fianza de $10,000 en el primer cargo.
$1,500 bond on two,
$200.
$1,500 bond on two,
$1,500 en el segundo cargo.
No victim contact.
no puede tener contacto con la víctima.
Mr. Arechivala was arrested in '04 for domestic violence battery, and the charge was dropped.
Que a usted, señora Chavala, lo arrestaron en el 2004 por agresión física y el cargo fue retirado.
Nothing further.
Okay.
Judge, as you heard, Mr. Arachavella has limited contact with the criminal justice system.
Dice su abogado que como ya han escuchado, usted ha tenido un contacto limitado con el sistema judicial.
Mr. Chavala has been here more than half of his life.
Y que usted ha vivido acá más de la mitad de su vida en este país.
He's years old.
I'm sorry, the interpreter didn't hear how old is he?
He's 50 years old.
Usted tiene 50 años de edad.
He's a truck driver by trade.
Usted es camionero, un chofer de camión, que a eso se dedica.
On a great week, he can make up to about $900 a week.
Y que cuando le va bien, en una semana puede ganar hasta $900.
Now, he lives, I believe, at the home where he was arrested at with his son.
Y que usted vive en la casa donde lo arrestaron con su hijo.
His son is 26 years old,
Su hijo tiene 26 años.
and they've been residing at that location, or Mr. Chavala has, for the past 10 years.
Y que han estado residiendo en esa casa por los últimos 10 años, por lo menos usted.
The problem is that, from what Mr. Chavala advised me, is when he was arrested, he didn't have an opportunity to bring his phone with him.
He didn't have the opportunity to bring, I'm sorry, interpreter, hear you.
Phone with him.
Que usted no pudo, cuando usted lo arrestaron en la casa, usted no pudo traer consigo.
Judge, and that's the problem. He has no phone numbers memorized, so he has no one to contact.
No puede usted traer su teléfono consigo y por lo tanto usted no recuerda ninguno de los números telefónicos que tiene en su teléfono.
So, Judge, at this time, there's no one he can contact to put up any sort of financial bond.
Por lo tanto, usted en este momento no tiene a nadie a quien contactar para poder poner una fianza monetaria.
I'm asking you to take that into consideration, determining reasonable release conditions for Mr. Chavala.
Y quisiera su abogado que la jueza tenga eso en consideración para darle a usted una fianza.
All right, as to count one, I am going to impose a $10,000 bond.
En el primer cargo le va a imponer una fianza de $10,000.
Count two is $1,500.
1,500 en el segundo.
Mr. No victim contact.
Señora Chaval, usted no puede tener ningún contacto con la víctima.
It means no phone calls.
Eso quiere decir que no puede llamar a la víctima por teléfono.
No text messages.
No le puede mandar mensajes de texto.
No social media.
No puede tratar de buscar a la víctima por medios sociales de la internet.
And no third party contact.
Y tampoco puede tener contacto con la víctima a través de terceros.
Okay. All right, good luck, sir.
Que tenga buena suerte.
Is there anyone else who needs a Spanish interpreter?
¿Alguien más que necesita la intérprete?
There's one gentleman right now that just raised their hand, Judge. I'm going to try and find out who that is.
Okay.
Jorge Ochoa, Judge. I'm finding
Okay.
page 6 of the document.
All right. Jorge Ochoa Lopez,
Señor Ochoa López,
you're before the court this afternoon.
esta tarde usted está acá ante la corte.
Count one is driving while license suspended.
El primer cargo es manejar con licencia suspendida.
Count two is an immigration hold.
El segundo cargo es una retención de inmigración.
That's a no bond hold and not for magistrate.
El segundo cargo no lleva fianza y no es para que lo vea la magistrada.
And then count 3 is an out-of-county felony hold.
Y el tercer cargo es una felonía cometida fuera de este estado.
Count 1 has a $100 bond.
El primer cargo tiene una fianza de $100.
The out-of-county felony hold has a $10,000 bond.
La retención de usted de una orden fuera del condado tiene una fianza de 10,000
And that also is not a charge for magistrate.
y no es tampoco un cargo para que lo vea la magistrada.
Okay, sir. Good luck.
Muy bien, buena suerte.
Anyone else needs a Spanish interpreter?
Alguien que necesite la interpretación.
All right, thank you. Curtis Stanley?
He's approaching, Judge.
Mr. Stanley is before the court for a misdemeanor KPS on a battery charge. It looks like Mr. Stanley did not show up for a calendar call last August, August 23rd of 2018. And I find probable cause. He does have a $1,000 bond, but he also has court tomorrow before his division judge. Okay? Dion Pierce?
He's here present, Judge. He declined the services of public defender, proceeding pro se.
All right, Ms. Pierce, you're before the court this afternoon for one misdemeanor KPS. For retail theft. The bond is $500. And, I don't know, there's no court date that's set. What do you wanna do? Well, it's for theft, so this is for not showing up for a hearing back in September of 2015. This is a 2015 case, okay? I don't know what you wanna do today. What was that?
I said it doesn't make a difference.
All right, so your bond is $500, okay?
Oh no, I can't afford a bond though.
All right, well,
Well, I guess it does make a difference.
so it does make a difference.
Oh, it makes a difference.
Is this something that an offer can be
Oh,
made?
absolutely. The offer would be a withholding court cost.
So you have two options. You can post your bond, which is $500, or you can resolve your case today. The offer is a withhold adjudication and court costs. Or if you want to fight the, well, I don't know.
Actually, you know, I'm
Are there
sorry,
any
Your Honor.
priors or anything?
This case was already resolved.
Okay,
This was, he resolved this matter in front of Judge Miller in 2015.
okay,
Instead of court cost, he got a community service. He was supposed to appear September 1st for proof of community service. That's when the K-piece was issued.
well, it looks like you already resolved the case, but you did not complete all the conditions. So you're supposed to do community service and that hasn't been done. So you have to go before your division judge on this. You know, is there any other priors or anything? It's 2000, there's, all right. So I'll ROR you, but you have to go to, before your division judge. You may want to go look and see how many community hours you need to complete, so you can bring that when you have to go to court.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. You'll be released on your own recognizance.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Tervaros Papa George.
Hey, hold on, Judge. Oh, he declined. He's proceeding pro se.
I might
change your mind?
Yeah, 'cause I might be able to word it just right now. I might want to tell you a few things where you get better.
One moment, please, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, thank you for that chance. We're ready to proceed.
All right, Mr. Papa George, you're before the court for charge number 1 is possession of cannabis, 20 grams or less. Number 2 is resisting officer without violence. Number 3 is tampering with or fabricating physical evidence. Number 4 is operating without a valid driver's license. Number 5 is attaching registration license plate not assigned. Number 6 is failure to register motor vehicle. And number 7 is failure to provide proof of liability security. And the court finds probable cause for all those counts. Does anyone wish to be heard as to bond?
Judge, if the court found probable cause, and speaking right now with Mr. Papa George, he advised me that this is his first time he's ever been arrested. If the state can confirm that, I'm going to ask the court to consider releasing Mr. Papa George ROR, and he says he will be coming back to court. If not, in the alternative, he did give me the phone number of his family member, who I intend calling right after court to post his monetary bond, who Mr. Papa George seems confident can afford the $100 using the services of bondsman.
I mean, Your Honor, I really can't confirm anything because I'm showing, while there's a West Palm Beach address on the probable cause affidavit, there's a Bahamian address as his permanent address on the booking.
Yes, I see that. All right, I'm gonna leave a $1,000 bond in place. Okay. Edmund Tozy.
He's approaching, Judge.
All right, Mr. Tozy is before the court for, charge number 1 is intimidation, right, send, or threat to kill or injure. And number 2 is aggravated stalking, and the court finds probable cause. Does anyone wish to be heard as to bond?
Your Honor, I'm going to be requesting that the court keep the bonds that Judge Duffy set in place. I'm also going to be asking for additional release conditions of pretrial release with a GPS monitor level 1, no victim contact, excuse me, no alcohol or intoxicants, that Mr. Tazi not be in possession of any weapons, firearms, or ammunition, that if he currently owns or owns any firearms, that they be surrendered to his local law enforcement. First, Your Honor, I would like the court to be aware that the city of Coral Springs currently has a pending petition for a risk protection order before Judge Dennis Bailey. I spoke with the city attorney today, and it looks like the final hearing has been reset for June 14th. They had to keep resetting it because Mr. Tazi had to be extradited. My understanding is he fought extradition as well, so that delayed matters. Your Honor, I can tell you that in 2017, he was arrested for burglary of a dwelling and grand theft against this same alleged victim. That was dropped. He had a theft in 2017. He was arrested for felony battery due to priors against the same alleged victim in 2017. That was dropped. In 2010, he was convicted of domestic violence battery against a different alleged victim. That same victim, a few years later, then got a permanent injunction that is still in place today against Mr. Tazi. In 1997, he was arrested for aggravated battery. That was dropped.
Okay.
First, Mr. Tazi, as the state was speaking, he's disputing some of the, data that the state was relaying to the court. And speaking with Mr. Tazi, he is not a convicted felon. That's correct. He was extradited from New Hampshire. He's been in custody now for, I believe, a total of 8 days. He's been residing in New Hampshire now, from what he advised me, for about a year and a half. He lives in a town outside of New Hampshire called Littleton, where he rents an apartment, and his monthly rent is approximately $400 per month. He is working. He's been working at the same location over there at a place called Applebee's. He's been working there for months as a dishwasher, making only $9.50 an hour. My understanding is, I believe Mr. Tazi was informed by law enforcement that this alleged incident occurred back in February of this year. And speaking with Mr. Tazi, just from his financial resources, he tells me he doesn't own any sort of property. He has no sort of money in the bank. So therefore, for all practical purposes, it's an impossibility as far as him being able to afford $150,000. Judge, he's asking if the court can consider something attainable. He's asking if the court would consider $1,000 bond on count 1, a $5,000 bond on count 2. We're going to be asking for a standard pretrial because, as you heard, he doesn't reside here, so he resides in New Hampshire. Being placed on standard pretrial will still allow him to reside in New Hampshire. He will still have to call in and report, but at least he'll be allowed to live where he lives, Judge. So that's what we're asking for at this time.
All right, the affidavit to arrest that was signed by Judge Duffy, has several, as information, or allegations, of the victim reporting that there has been violence in the past. And in addition to 238 voicemails, plus text messages with threats to kill or to harm. With those allegations, the court does have concern for there was a previous temporary restraining order, but due to the fact that they were unable to find Mr. Tazi, they were unable to pursue a permanent restraining order. So with those allegations before the court, the history of prior violence, the court, I am going to leave those bonds in place, $50,000 on count 1, $100,000 on count 2. No victim contact, which means no phone calls, no text messages, no social media, no third-party contact, no alcohol or intoxicants, no weapons or firearm. And should Mr. Tazi post the bond, he will also be on the GPS. Okay. Alex Cohen,
I'm sorry, you're on just, what level GPS?
2.
Okay, and
Did
Hector,
let
can
me
you have
write
him
it.
brought back? I just wanted for clarification, Your Honor, on the firearms. Does that also include surrendering any to local law enforcement if he does own any down here?
Well, if Mr. Tazi has any firearms, he needs to surrender them to law enforcement prior to being released. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Alex Cohen. Mr. Cohen is before the court for dealing in stolen property and 2 false owner info for pawn items, and the court does find probable cause. Does anyone wish to be heard as the bond?
No, she gave me the number of his father. I'm going to be contacting his father after court.
Okay. So $3,500 and $1,000. Okay. Jermaine Jackson.
He's approaching, Judge, and he declined the services of public defender.
Mr. Jackson, hello, Mr. Jackson. You're before the court this afternoon for one count of possession of controlled substance without a prescription. Charge number 2 is resisting officer without violence. Number 3 is leaving the scene of a crash involving damage to property. Number 4 is driving while license suspended. Number 5 is failure to wear a seatbelt. That's a traffic infraction not for magistrate. And number 6 is failure to obey police or fire department. All right, the court finds probable cause as to those counts. State, you wish to be heard?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
All right. Mr. Jackson, is there anything that you want to say in regards to your bond?
No, ma'am.
All right, so your standard bonds are in place. You have 1,000 on 1, 100 on 2, 100 on 3, and 750 on. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
Judge, whenever the court's ready, we're ready to proceed on Valerie Silverman.
All right, Valerie Silverman. All right, Ms. Silverman, you're before the court for violating an injunction, a stalking. The court finds probable cause.
Your Honor, the state is going to be requesting a $5,000 bond, pretrial release with a GPS monitor. This is just, I pulled the original petition that Tracy Sellers filed, and this has just been an ongoing issue. First off, Ms. Silverman pled out to a trespass in January of this year that also involved Ms. Sellers' home. Looking at the petition, she documents in this sworn affidavit, March 22nd, Valerie went to their house to see her son, they're no longer together. She refuses to leave. She knocks on the window. She looks into the house. The last time she left before police arrived, and they saw her running down Bayview Drive and advised Ms. Sellers to get a restraining order. March 21st, she came to the house. That's when Ms. Sellers had her daughter and grandchildren visiting from Denver. She stands on the property, peers into the windows, knocks on the windows. She left but came back later after we all got home from a restaurant. She left before I could call the police. March 16th, she was having a family birthday party with 20 family members. Ms. Silverman arrives, saw the people there, told her to leave or I'd call the police, and then she finally left. All the while, she's calling the home phone constantly, to the point where Ms. Sellers has to unplug the phone. February 4th, January 28th, October 13th, October 9th, November 27th, December 4th. And it's always the same thing. She goes there, she knocks on the windows, she knocks on the door, she peers into the windows. She will not stop. It doesn't matter how many times the police gets involved, she will not leave this woman alone. She will not stop going to this woman's home.
Okay.
Judge, in speaking, Ms. Silverman, she's working. She works as a server at a local restaurant called Sicilian Oven. As a server, making about $5 plus tip. She lives in her own apartment in Fort Lauderdale, where she's been living there for about 2.5 years. I believe her monthly rent is about $1,050. Judge, she does have family that reside in our community. We're going to be asking for a $2,500 bond on Ms. Silverman's behalf, Judge.
All right, for Ms. Silverman, there is an injunction in place. I don't know what else a court can do to send the message. So this time, I am going to impose a $5,000 bond, and if she's able to post the bond, she will be on a level 2 GPS. Can't come on it. No victim contact, but that was the order from the previous judge. It means no phone calls, no text messages, don't, no, not being on the street. I don't know how much, feet, restriction there is. No social media, no third-party contact. It means what it says, ma'am, no contact. Okay. Daquan Porter,
Should we let it go?
Mr. Porter is before the court. Count one is burglary on occupied conveyance unarmed. Two is battery on an officer firefighter. Three, criminal mischief. Four, resisting with violence. Five, resisting without violence. And the court finds probable cause as to those counts.
Your Honor, the state would be requesting a $3,500 bond on one, $1,500 bond on two, a $500 bond on four. Mr. Porter's 18 years old, and I see he's had numerous burglary-related priors as a juvenile already.
Okay.
Judge Porter is 18 years old. He's been here his whole life. He's right now working on obtaining his GED. He advised me he's currently looking for employment. He lives in Dania Beach with his grandmother. His grandmother, from what he advised me, on Social Security on a fixed she doesn't have any financial resources to help Mr. Porter out, so he's going to be reaching out to his girlfriend, she works at like a local retail clothes store. Judge, we're going to be asking on count one, a third-degree felony, a $1,000 bond. We're going to be asking $1,000 bond on count two. We're in agreement with the state as far as four. We're going to be requesting $2,000 on behalf of Mr. Porter for counts one and two. And we're going to require a photo order as well, Judge.
All right, based on the allegations in this probable cause affidavit and Mr. Porter's past history, I am going to impose a $3,500 bond on count one, $1,500 on two, $500 on four. All right. Leland Pinkham.
He's approaching, Judge.
Mr. Pinkham is before the court. Charge number one is battery on an officer. Two is touch or strike battery. The court finds probable cause. I'll hear from the parties as to bond.
Judge, I'm going to be requesting a $1,000 bond on count one, with $1,000 bond on two is $2,000. My understanding of speaking with Mr. Pinkham, this is his first time being arrested. He's not from here. He's from New York. He was down here on vacation. He's 23 years old. He just graduated from Morris College, where he got his Bachelor of Science degree in biology. So now he's going to be looking for employment. Judge, we're going to be asking for a phone order so we can contact family to let know where he's at so they can post his monetary bond, and also a property order because he believes he may have written it down. So we're requesting a total bond of $2,000 on Mr. Pinkham's behalf, Judge.
Your Honor, I was going to be, I'll leave in the court's discretion, I was going to be requesting a $2,000 bond on count one. No victim contact based on the allegations, and it does appear that Mr. Pinkham does not have ties to the community as he resides in, I believe it's upstate New York.
All right, did we say, there are no priors?
I'd have to, Nancy, do you have anything? He's not on my list, but.
All right, $1,000 on one, 1,000 on two, and no victim contact. Okay. David Santiago,
Where's the domestics?
all right, Mr. Santiago, you're before the court. Charge number one is DUI, alcohol, or drugs. Two and three are felony violation of probation, both with no bond holds. You do have court tomorrow before your division judge, and your bond on count one is $500, okay? Good luck, sir.
Let me guess, there's stuff with beef,
Anthony Phillip,
obviously.
He's approaching, Judge.
okay? All right, Mr. Phillip is before the court. Charge number one is resisting officer without violence. Number two is tampering with, or fabricating physical evidence. Number three is loitering or prowling. The court finds probable cause.
Judge, it's being Mr. Phillips says no one can afford to post his bond. He lives in Pompano Beach, so he's requesting pretrial release.
Your Honor, as mentioned in the report, Mr. Phillip was arrested May 22nd for resisting without violence, tampering with evidence, and loitering and prowling. He posted a $1,000 bond and was released last Thursday.
Okay. So, Mr. Phillips' bond on two, he has a $1,000 bond. James Walker,
Nancy, anything on him?
all right, Mr. Walker is before the court for one count of burglary, occupied structure unarmed. And the court finds probable cause.
Yeah, it looks like this is an attempt, but it also looks like it was someone's home.
It is an attempt, yes,
And so I
Sorry.
guess attempted burglary of an occupied home.
yeah.
Checking to see if there's any history, Judge.
Judge, we're going to be requesting a medical screening, nothing to have from the defense.
All right, we'll sign that order.
Your Honor, I'm just checking right now. Okay. It appears he has a very lengthy juvenile history, Your Honor, with pickup orders issued in the past also for absconding.
All right, I'm gonna impose a $10,000 bond, okay?
Just ask for an order of no return.
No return to that location, sir. Okay? All
Two
right,
things.
All right, let's go to our hearing docket on, the misdemeanor docket. Dominic Hill
He's out of custody, Judge.
is out.
Yep.
He's approaching.
What?
I thought somebody says he's out, somebody says he's approaching.
He paid his bond yesterday, but then when I looked in the system today, I didn't see it posted, so it went through, I guess.
Oh,
Maybe he was awaiting placement to BART.
That,
let her finish, let her finish. She's not finished. Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor, he's also in custody on felony charges, he's awaiting program,
Okay,
and, they have contacted the program to arrange his pickup, he has posted his bond.
okay,
and that's what I meant. He's not being held in custody on this charge.
okay. All right. So he's posted his bond. There is a felony. He's supposed to be at some program that he's waiting for a pickup. That has been confirmed, okay? All right, Max Ray.
He's approaching, Judge.
All right, Mr. Ray was arrested on May 24th. And, how much bond does Mr. Ray have?
I believe he has $100, Judge. Mr. Ray, speaking to him, he's looking forward to having his day in court and fighting these allegations, but he's homeless. He has no one post his bond, so he's asking for the court to consider an ROR or release him on pretrial release, Judge.
Your Honor, do you have the PC for this case?
Yes,
Your-
I'm looking at it right now.
See.
And, does Mr. Ray have any prior or any criminal history? I hear you. While we're waiting, well, I guess you said he was homeless. 'Cause, the allegations are that he was sleeping in front of somebody's door, and that's why they called
Yeah. Your Honor, frankly, at this point, it looks like it would be basically impossible to do an accurate background check on Mr. Ray. I don't know if that's his name. You can see at first, he wasn't giving me a name. They had to go with John Doe.
Right.
There's no social to check. There's just really nothing in his background to check off of to determine who he is.
And Judge, and speaking to Mr. Ray right now, what he was advising me as far as the actual place that he was sleeping in front of was an abandoned house with there was no trespassing signs or anything like that. And so it's not like he was sleeping in front of some house where people were residing at.
All right, I'm gonna leave the bond in place.
And Your Honor, just
Okay. Yes,
no, nothing further, Your Honor.
okay. Alvanica White,
That's an abandoned home.
North Howard.
Good book. For urban apartment complex.
Ms. White was arrested on May 29th.
Yes. It's a criminal mischief on you, Your Honor. You raised her bond to $750. It's alleged that she smashed the window, side view mirrors, and windshield wipers of a truck with a barbecue grill, and then smashed the side door, window, and windshield wipers of a van, causing a total amount of damage of $500.
And does Ms. White have a criminal history?
Let me check that. 2015, 2 counts of aggravated assault, a deadly weapon, resisting with violence, battery, criminal mischief, violation of a domestic violence injunction. Looks like her probation was modified February 5th of this year.
She's still on probation then?
I don't believe so. It might have been modified and like revoked, but
Okay. And I don't, how much bond is she,
you said her bond at $750.
Which obviously she's not able to make because she's still in custody. I know it's not the kind of case we can work out because I'm sure that there's some restitution involved.
Who the hell talking?
No, that's magistrate, but I'll.
I'm so sorry, miss.
all right. You know, when you're in court, even though you're not physically in this room with me, we're before the court. So, you know, you have an attorney speaking on your behalf, and that's your response. I don't get it. I don't get it. Her bond is $750. Carmelita Prudhomme. Where's Miss Prudhomme?
I'm
She's on
sorry, Judge.
medical loan, Your Honor.
Your
She
Honor?
what? She bonded?
Medical loan.
Oh,
Okay.
I know who she is.
Yeah, you transfer this to MI.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, on the felony hearing docket, Jabrion Cody. CODY. Page 2 of the felony docket.
I don't see it on my paperwork, Judge. I don't know if that person's in a different facility or not.
It's on the
Your Honor,
felony
he should be
docket.
at Conti.
Okay. So we have Jabrion Cody. Is anyone at Conti?
Your Honor, we don't have them on our docket over here. We're out of felony docket.
Okay. All right.
Brian, you want to waive?
Yeah, what's the situation?
He has an arrest date of April 30th, so.
Yeah, sure. The state has not filed information. He's entitled to an ROR at this time.
I'll waive his presence.
Okay, so I'll sign the order granting the RR. Timothy Knox.
All right, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Knox was arrested on May 1st. What's the status? Can't believe we're in June already.
State has not filed an information. He's entitled to an ROR.
All right, so Mr. Knox, I will sign the order releasing you on your own recognizance. It does not mean that the state cannot file the charges, it just means that you cannot be held any longer pending that filing. So you've got to make sure that you check your mail to see if you have to come back to court, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck, sir. Jermaine Bragton.
Auntie.
Is anyone at Conti? Jermaine Bragton?
Your Honor, we don't have that on the court docket.
What does that mean? There's a second one. He's on my docket. What's
on
the
the docket
second
that-
one that's not on the docket?
Emailed this morning.
What was that?
I said he was definitely on the docket that got emailed this morning, because that's where I printed it out from.
Okay. What's the status on Mr. Braxton?
It's an ROR. We have now filed
Is
information.
he represented by the Public Defender's Office?
Yes, Judge, but he also has no bond holds on violation of probations.
All right, so we'll take no action.
I would prefer you did not.
Okay, I'll take no.
Actually, what I would really
Yeah.
prefer is if we reset it for tomorrow so that I can actually talk to him about what he wants to
Well,
do.
Your Honor, even if we file the information, I'm not going to be asking the court to deny the motion if he wishes to go forward, acknowledging that at the time of the hearing today, the state did not file. And it's not Mr. Bragdon's fault that he wasn't brought by the judge.
right, so you still want it to be reset? There's
Yes,
nothing-
please,
there's no-
Judge.
Okay.
It's his decision, and, I would feel comfortable making it for him without input
Okay,
from him.
I will reset Mr. Bragton till tomorrow. Eric Lawson,
No problem, Your Honor.
Hey, Judge. Hi, Mr. Lawson. Mr. Lawson was arrested on May 1st. What's the status?
Your Honor, the state has filed an information this afternoon. We filed the top count as presented and declined the trespass.
All right, so Mr. Lawson, you are here for a 30-day motion. The state has filed the charges. You were arrested on May 1st, so June 1st was the 30th day. Today is the 32nd day. So the information has been filed as to possession of weapon or ammo by a convicted felon. So I'll take no action on the 30-day motion today, okay? All right, good luck, sir. Eric Clace,
I believe he's in the main jail.
Place is here, he's here present, Judge, at Maine. Come on up, sir. Yeah, just come on. Judge, Mr. Clace, basically is being held on a drug offenses. His total bond is $2,100. When he was before you last week, I didn't make any requests except for a phone order. Mr. Class was able to contact his mother. Unfortunately, his mother is sick and is not able to post his bond at this time. So, Judge, at this time, we're coming before you on this nonviolent offense to ask the court if you would consider releasing him on pretrial release with random drug testing.
does Mr. Clace have a criminal history?
He does, Your Honor. His criminal history includes a 2014 burglary of a dwelling, 2 counts of dealing in stolen property, 2 counts of false ownership info on a pawn item. He was sentenced to 2 years community control to be followed by 3 years drug offender probation. He had his probation terminated May 17th of last year. 2012, possession of hydromorphone with a violation of probation. 2012, burglary of a structure with a violation of probation. Nothing further.
Yes. Judge, I realize he has some serious priors, but my understanding is it's been about 5 years since he picked up a new charge.
All right, I'll release Mr. Clace to level 2 pretrial random drug testing. All right, Aja Steimers,
George. Who'd you call your?
Aja Steimers
Out of custody.
out. And then Marguerite Fazio,
Out of custody.
Released.
and then Lori Cardella.
North Broward.
Your Honor, she's been moved to Paul Ryan.
Hold on, Your Honor.
Okay.
There she is.
All right. Ms. Cardella was arrested on May 29th. Miss Lori Cardella, and she has. Okay, what's this? Does Miss? Oh. Okay. All right, what are we doing with Miss Cardella?
Well, Judge, she has a total bond of $3,125, which I'm assuming she cannot make because she is in custody.
I'm sorry. At what point can I interject here? Because I spoke with my private attorney this morning. He said he was going to have a conversation with the court and that I would be out today. We were going to postpone. You had told the judge when we spoke with the magistrate on Thursday, the 30th at 8 a.m., that you spoke for me and said that I didn't have the funds in my savings. And I said, yes, I did. And for some reason, I'm still in
Who's your
jail.
private attorney?
Edward O'Donnell.
Do you have a phone number for him?
Yes. I could read it faster and clearer if I had my glasses. 305-573-1000. It's Miami Beach, or Miami, Florida, Biscayne Boulevard.
Okay. How long has he been your attorney?
He met with me at 11 this morning. He said he was going to have a conversation with you, so I wouldn't have to be, that it would be settled before I got here, that I'd be out within 10 to 12 hours.
Well, it
That
doesn't.
bond was going to be posted.
Okay, just hold on a moment, okay? What was the name she said? O'Donnell?
Ed O'Donnell.
Good afternoon, office.
Good afternoon. This is Judge Jackie Powell. I am a judge in Broward County in County Court. I am the first appearance judge. Is this Attorney Ed O'Donnell's office?
It is.
All right. I have a lady before me this afternoon. Her name is Lori Cardella, and she tells me that Mr. O'Donnell is representing her.
Can you give me a moment because I have him on the other line
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
If you want to speak with him,
Okay.
I can patch him in. Hold on.
Okay.
Judge Powell,
Yes.
I have Mr. O'Donnell on the line.
Okay. Mr. O'Donnell?
Yes, Judge, how are you?
I am okay. I have Lori Cardella before me this afternoon in first appearance court. She's actually.
Second appearance.
Calm down, ma'am. Calm down. This is a bond court, and she was before me last week, and now she's here today again. She tells me today that you are her attorney. She's back for a second look at her bond status, and I'm calling first to find out, are you representing Miss Cardella?
Yes, Your Honor, I am. Myself and Eric Schwartzreich will be representing her. We were in the process of having her bond written.
Okay.
2 hours ago, actually, we tried to get that in progress.
Okay.
And I'm assuming there's nothing holding up that the bond from the court.
And no, not from my end. She's just brought back for a second look because she's been in. So that's the only reason why she's before me today. So it's not because of there are any other holdups. So,
Okay,
so you are working on the release conditions, correct?
Yes, we were having the bond posted as of this morning.
Okay. All right.
So hopefully, I think the bonds person may need the jail card, but I'm not sure where the jail card is, whether it's in court, and that might cause some
No.
minor delay.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know. No, they don't confinement?
He can still post them on. What he's probably saying is the hard card here, they can't release it until we come back to court
Okay,
with the file.
okay.
It doesn't stop him from
Is
posting
it,
the bond.
is it, but it's not showing that the bond has been posted
Bond
yet?
hasn't been posted yet.
Okay. All right, well, I guess it's in the works. Thank you for answering the phone call.
Thank you for calling, Judge. I'm going to call the bonds person now. I know they were dispatched, this morning, sometime right after 11 to write it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, ma'am, you just have to hold tight. Were you here on this matter, ma'am?
Yes, I work for Mr. Schwartz, right?
Oh.
I actually just spoke to Mr. O'Donnell. I said, let me run over there, see if I can get them before they address it.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much.
All right, they're working on posting your bond, ma'am, okay?
So what does that mean for me? How do I get out of here?
Your attorneys are working on posting your bond. As soon as your bond is posted, you'll be able to be released.
And how and when will I know that?
They will let you know at the jail,
I got it on.
okay? Joshua Cunningham?
He's here, President. May you go?
How you doing, Jan?
I'm okay, Mr. Cunningham.
Your Honor, Mr. Cunningham is here on a second look on a grand theft. He raised his bond to $3,500. He has 4 open petty thefts and 1 open grand theft in Dade County.
All right, so we'll leave the bond in place?
Judge,
Yes,
if I
sir.
may, I read the PC affidavit. My understanding is when he was encountered by LPO from when speaking Mr. Cunningham, he complied. He went back to their office, and then when law enforcement talked to him, he gave a post-Miranda statement, basically cooperating and admitting to everything, Judge. This is a nonviolent offense. I know it's a $3,500 bond. He lives in Miami with his mother. His mother can't afford to post his bond. With the court, they're releasing him on pretrial release.
What did we say that his criminal history was?
I'd have to check as far as pled cases. I know he had a petty theft in Broward last year. The only note I have here is the 5 open cases in Dade that are all thefts.
Okay. All right, that's going to be denied. All right, Acosta Dominguez, Ricardo Domingo Acosta,
Out of custody.
okay? And then Adesh Prasad,
He's approaching, Judge. And Judge, my understanding is he's out on another case, and I believe that's why the court raised his bond from $1,000 to $5,000.
Yes.
24 years old.
Yes.
Can I say something, please? I know my history it looks bad, and I know it's bad, but as I've grown older, I've matured more. And if you can please just give me a chance. I never missed court. I always showed up for court. When on bond, I always show up for court. I know my history is bad and stuff, but I'm trying to get in school. I work hard. If you can please, ma'am, give me a chance. I'm 24 years old.
well, this is my second time seeing you.
And Your Honor, I remember specifically, when he appeared before you on the Loitering and Prowling, he gave you the same speech. I'm going to school, I've matured, I'm an adult now. The bond was kept at $500 when he was pulling on people's door handles to try to recover a watch he says he lost from mowing their lawns. That was a month or a couple weeks after he pled out a battery in front of a county court judge. Now he's before the court again, stealing property from a man's mailbox in Wilton Manors.
All right, I'm not gonna make any changes. Roger Shackley,
Out of custody.
okay. All right, thank you, everyone. I believe that's it for this afternoon.